Hey everyone, welcome back to Faith Unplugged. I'm just going to be very honest in this video. I don't feel strong right now. And if I'm being honest, not for a while. I kind of feel like Gideon. And if you know that story, or if you don't know that story, it's in Judges 6. Gideon wasn't some confident warrior when God called him. He was actually in hiding. I mean, literally hiding. The Bible says he was threshing wheat in a wine press. That was like below ground, which basically means he was doing farm work in the wrong place just because he was scared. And that's kind of how I feel right now. Not scared of people, just unsure. And I felt very alone and a little confused, if I'm being honest. I mean, God told me to leave 2 churches within a year. And the first church, I was part of it for years. And then the second was kind of like a transition part, I think, because I was helping some friends who had started a church. But, even after that, God moved me again. And so I'm just doing the online church right now, which is okay for me, but I do miss the community, if I'm being completely honest. But in both situations, I just chose to obey. I didn't question it, just obeyed. Sorry, I'm shaking a little bit. I'm a little chilly out here. But then God told me to start this channel, and I obeyed. Even though I'm scared, I did it. Doors have closed in my personal life, in my relationships. I've had many doors closed there, but I still obeyed. But right now, it just feels so quiet. And for the past 4 months, my business has even slowed down, like slowed way down. And I'm sitting here thinking, just asking God, did I really hear you right? Because obedience feels painful and it is expensive when there's no immediate reward. Sorry, I had to put my jacket back on. Anyway, so in Judges 6:12, the angel of the Lord appears to Gideon and says in verse 12, "Mighty hero, the Lord is with you." And I laugh when I read that because Gideon was hiding. He was just hiding. He didn't feel mighty. He didn't look like a hero. He was just surviving. And maybe that's you too. I mean, that's me right now. God calling me something that I don't really feel like at all right now. And Gideon responds the way I think most of us would. He says in verse 13, "Sir, if the Lord is with us, why has all this happened to us?" And I'm telling you what, that one right there hits me hard. Because I'm like, well, if the Lord is with me, why is this so hard? Why? And if the Lord is with me, why is our money so tight right now? If the Lord is with me, why do I feel so alone? I want to encourage you because that is not rebellion. That's just honesty. And God didn't rebuke him for asking. He didn't say, "Oh, well, how dare you ask that question, Gideon?" He just kept going. Then in verse 14, God basically says, "Go in the strength you have." Not in the strength you wish you had. Not the strength you'll have later either. But the strength you have right now. And I don't think he had much strength at this point. And I think that's where I'm at. I don't feel bold. Sometimes I don't even want to make these videos. I don't feel very spiritual. I don't feel like I have it all together or like I have anything figured out. But I do have the strength to obey. So that's what I'm doing. And sometimes obedience is all God's asking us for. Gideon then says something else that feels very familiar to me. In verse 15, he says, "How can I rescue Israel? My clan is the weakest, and I am the least in my entire family." Basically, he's saying, I'm not qualified. I don't have any backing. I don't have the support. I'm not the obvious choice, Lord. And if I'm being real, sometimes I look at Gen Z and I think, God, why me? I'm not qualified. There are much bigger channels out there, more polished people who are qualified, more educated voices to speak to Gen Z. And here I am just trying to be obedient. And then my business in the last 4 months has been so slow. So that voice has gotten even louder to me. And all these things going through my head, like, oh, well, maybe you just need to go get a part-time job somewhere. Or maybe you just misunderstood God. Maybe you just jumped too soon. And I'm not against working. Actually, we have to work in the business I have. I've worked my entire life. I don't ever feel like I'm going to quit. But it's the fear behind it that I'm checking. I have to ask myself, am I moving out of wisdom, or am I moving out of fear or panic? That is where I'm at right now. And then God says something to Gideon that I'm holding on to right now. In verse 16, he says, "But I will be with you." That's it. Not, I'll show you the full plan, or I'll give you instant success. I'll make it easy. He doesn't say that. He just says, I will be with you. And I think we underestimate how powerful that is. Because if God's with you, you're not actually alone, even if it feels like it. And then Gideon does something I love. He asks for confirmation. And this sounds so much like me because I'm like, Lord, can you just give me another confirmation, please? So Gideon lays out the fleece, not once, but twice. And I've heard some pastors preach this like it's doubt, but I think it's because Gideon was human. He wanted reassurance, and God gave it to him. That tells me something. God isn't intimidated by your questions. He is not offended by your weakness. He isn't shocked by your fear. He just wants your yes. And here's the part that really hits me. Later on, God reduces Gideon's army from 32,000 to 300. 300. Why? Why do you think? Because if they won with 32,000 men, they'd think that they done it. But with 300, it could only be God. And I'm starting to wonder if maybe God is stripping things down in my life right now so that when breakthrough does come, I wouldn't be able to say that it was me. Maybe closed doors are his way of protecting me. And I truly believe that he is protecting me. And maybe these quiet seasons are just preparation. Maybe the reduced numbers have been intentional. Maybe small is strategic. And maybe you feel like that too. Like your life has shrunk. Like your circle has gotten so small. Like opportunities have slowed. But what if God is just reducing the army? I don't have a big polished ending for this because I'm still in this. I'm still in it. I'm still obeying. I'm still showing up. I'm still praying. And yes, I'm still considering wisdom in practical things like work. I haven't got an answer yet from the Lord, but I'm not quitting. Because if Gideon could be hiding and still be called mighty, maybe I can feel weak and still be chosen. And maybe you can too. So if you're in a season where doors have been closed, where obedience feels painful, where you're just wondering if you heard God right, you're not crazy. You might just be in Judges 6 too. And if God called you, he'll stay with you. That is what I'm holding on to. And maybe that's what you need to hold on to as well.